coming to you live from my apartment. It's Rob Has a Podcast. And now here's the guy who's ready to bring you another mad, exquisite recap of Big Brother. I'm Rob Cesternino. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Eviction Night once again here on a Thursday. As Daddy has left the building, Cam is gone again from the Big Brother house. This time it will stick. And here to talk about it, we've got another great panel. We're very excited to be back here with a man who won't have to talk about Daddy anymore. It's Taran Armstrong. Taran, how are you?
Daddy left again, Rob.
Yes.
But may I say, you look exquisite.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh, okay. All right. I know how this is going to go. Okay. Excited to be back here with Aman Adwin. Aman, how are you?
I'm exquisite. Rob, you look exquisite. Taran, you look exquisite. Chantele, you also look exquisite. We're all exquisite. Yes, baby.
Yes. Okay. All right. And then back with us once again, the great Chantele Francis. Chantele, how are you?
I'm doing well. And Rob, you look good.
Thank you. I appreciate that. All right. So there were some fun moments in this episode, but ultimately we got the veto ceremony, but not the HOH. Maybe the headline might ultimately be, we'll get a secret HOH later on tonight. So I think that will also give us some information about the competition and what it will be. Sounds like no slip and slide for the HOH, Taran.
Yay.
Yeah, no slip and slide. They're really kicking themselves. And you know what? I'm kicking myself too, because all that means is that they're gonna plan for it next week again.
Oh, they're just gonna talk about it over and over and over again some more.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll talk about that and the ramifications and everything else from tonight's episode. Get your questions in. It'd be a good night for questions from the chat as we break down everything heading into the final 30 days and less of Big Brother 25. All right. So yeah, ultimately, it was the goodbye for Cam, Chantele.
Yay.
Eulogy for Cam.
I mean, I was already set when he went home the first time. I was always like, yay, okay, the game has shifted. It's gonna be great. Things are gonna change. And then he came back and now he's finally gone. So I feel like, Final Destination happened, took him out of the game for real this time. And we can see how this end game is actually gonna play out. So I'm happy about it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I do think that it is pretty interesting, Taran, that we're going to get this secret HOH with nominations, shades of the hacker twist where, okay, we're not going to know who the HOH is, but then I think it might be pretty easy to tell who the HOH is based off of the nominations that we get, whether it's Matt and Jag or Corey in America. I guess it could be one of the people in the middle that could do something different, but do you think that this will be a good spot for a secret HOH?
It's hard to say. I will say this. Normally, when a twist is announced, I just hang my head in shame. I scream at the universe because everybody in their right mind would be able to see how terrible of an idea it is and how it's going to ruin everything. And that possibility exists. This could ruin everything. This is a weird week for an invisible HOH because it's basically a week where everybody was like mustering up the courage to finally do something. Like, man, a move needs to be made, but I don't want to have to make it. And so over the course of the week, they were starting to get to the point where they're like, I think we just have to. I think we might just have to take the shot, and them having to reconcile that was going to be a big part of the drama, I think, of next week. So now this is like, I think they're all going to be extremely happy that it's an invisible HOH. Like, this is a twist that's going to make the house guests very pleased because it gives them what they want, which is normally not what you want to do. But there are ways that this could work out. It could open up some people who might have backed off on making a big move to convince them to make a big move and then get caught anyway, because they always do. And there are different combinations of like HOH and confidant that could really like make this week, exciting, and it really could end up being a good thing. So I'm still kind of like mostly net negative on this, but like it could work out. It actually could, and that's pretty high praise.
That's pretty good. Aman, what do you think?
I mean, the only person that I'm like interested in seeing win this would be Bowie, but I don't know if she's eligible. Did
Well,
they say
she's
whether or
not,
not
right?
she's eligible? We'll see. Yeah, so like I feel like she should be, because if it's supposed to be an anonymous HOH, then that means that everyone in my mind should be eligible to win. So that she's the only person that I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
she could use the power of anonymity very well, because she can do whatever the hell that she wants. Everyone else, I feel like it's going to be very easy to tell, okay, this person is obviously HOH because these two people are on the block.
I think there's 3 interesting outcomes in the HOH, and I think it's Blue, Siri, and Felicia. And they're the people that maybe you might not expect to be the HOH. And if they make nominations, they're going to be the one that nobody's going to believe that those are their nominations if they end up nominating one of the pairs. People will just assume it was them. And
they will blame it on Corey.
Yeah. and I also wonder if this will be an HOH to win where you can play in the HOH next week. If it's truly anonymous, this might be a great HOH to win. I mean, if Siri was ever going to win an HOH here and then be able to
play again,
put up her nominations that she wanted and nobody would know and nobody would suspect her. I mean, wow. That would be
that's
the ultimate
upside.
crime. Yeah.
The upside is one of them
I feel
wins.
like if Siri wins, she just puts up Corey in America, and I feel like they usually know that it's her.
No, she's doing Jag
she would put Matt and Jag.
Under anonymity, though?
Yeah, especially under anonymity.
That's the best way to do it. And everyone be mad at Corey.
I'm hoping if it's like the BB Canada competition where they had to just like count dropping rocks, like that like equalizes the playing field. You don't have to be super athletic to do it. And she very well could win a competition if it's like that.
Well, Taran, what do you think could be the nature of a competition that they would decide a secret HOH with?
Best case scenario is something like the rock counting. So if you haven't watched Big Brother Canada, first of all, Big Brother US is completely plagiarizing Big Brother Canada with this, including the invisible HOH moniker. But second, with the first time they did this, it was a competition where they were all in booths and they were counting by pressing the button every time to add the number, just rocks falling from a thing. And the person who won anonymously because nobody knew what number everybody else had put in. And that's a great way to do this because they're all competing, but they're all secretly competing.
Yeah.
The alternative way to do this is to just run a timed individual competition, which would suck because those are boring to watch and it would heavily favor Matt and Jag, I would imagine.
See, I think that is what they're going to do. If I had to guess which one it's going to be, I think it's going to be the one where it's like changing the clothes and you have to like be pushing the 3 buttons. And they've done it in like a bunch of these different seasons where, okay, keep your buttons closed and then change from one outfit into another. And then I'm not sure necessarily who that ultimately favors, but I feel like that's one that they could do like one at a time. I feel like it was in Celebrity Big Brother. They did it one at a time. And it was like they were in like ski clothes.
Well, I think though, if we look at what Siri was wearing, if they're expecting the competition to be right after the eviction, she was wearing running shoes with her dress. So that seems that like maybe they had some intel. It's going to be a quiz type thing or something where they're not going to have to be super athletic because she wasn't wearing full on athletic gear, but she was wearing running shoes. So I feel like it's standing somewhere.
Yeah, we don't know. I'm sure it'll take place sometime tonight, Taran. They'll be going into that now, and then we'll get feeds back like late night tonight.
I would imagine if it is individual, then I wouldn't expect feeds for a while.
Right. And then also the house probably also won't, unless people are like telling each other, okay, who the HOH is in like a pair, like America and Corey or a Matt and Jag. We may not even know who the HOH actually is.
Well, my biggest fear is that how they handled Path to Power is that they just cut the feeds anytime anybody referenced the power. And they tried their best to hide any conversation Matt had with anybody about the power and what he might do with it. So worst case scenario is that they try to do that with invisible HOH as well, and they just full on cut the feeds when anyone is talking about it or talking about nominations. Excepting for that though, like I think that most people would tell somebody. Siri might not. She's one of the only people I think would. Like Corey would tell America, America would tell Corey, Matt and Jag would tell each other. Maybe Matt would keep it to himself, but probably not. He didn't last time. Blue would probably tell Siri. Felicia would probably tell Siri. So I do think that most people would tell someone and that we would find out. It's just a matter of will they show us.
Yeah. This is from the chat. This is from Somnus90. Changing costume comp does fit the comic theme. It could be like, go into a phone booth and then change into your superhero costume. I could definitely see that being a way that they try to do that. What the hell was the thing in the HOH room? Like
maybe it's the beginning of the falling rocks, right? Like falling planets and kryptonite and
meteorite, kryptonite
exactly.
falling into the Fortress of Solitude.
It's like something like falls to the earth. They all touch it and like get some type of like power or access or like something that like absorbs them into the next competition. That's what I think it is. Yeah.
Now the chat is also talking about the double veto. Was that also part of the superhero week?
Yeah, Julie said that they'd be seeing double in the veto competition, which implies some sort of double veto. If there were actually 2 vetoes, that would be really absurd because that would mean that up to 4 people are immune. With one person as the HOH, like that basically leaves like
which
almost
is exactly what's going to
nominations.
happen because Big Brother is absurd. So
But why would they do this?
Why do they do anything? It's gonna be like 2 people are gonna get saved off of the block for sure. That's what I see.
Yeah. Also, I think that's also important. It's something that we haven't touched on is that the Tuesday night episode, for no reason, I believe, is 90 minutes coming up this week. So I don't know if a double veto is the way that we are going to be filling this 90-minute time slot. And that is something that we still don't know enough about yet at this time. But plan accordingly. Tuesday night's episode is going to be a 90-minute episode of Big Brother. Big Brother wants to jump in on the fun of 90-minute episodes with with Survivor and The Amazing Race.
Maybe there's going to be some sort of concert or it's going to be a clip show with a concert or something like that on Tuesday.
Oh, okay. All right. Sounds
it'll be an extra long double veto competition.
Yeah. Okay. This is from the chat. Macasaur says the only other final 8 with 2 vetoes was Dan's funeral week. Could be set up for some excitement. Okay. All right. Let's talk through the departure of Cam here in this episode. We got to see Cam a little hurt with everything that was going on. We saw him go to Bowie Jane on the Tuesday night episode and then ultimately end up on the block. He was very upset with this decision.
Bowie. Cameron. You don't owe me a thing in the world. But what you have shown today is your character.
Ooh.
Comic character?
Poor Cameron. He just doesn't get it. He doesn't realize how he rubs people the wrong way. And yes, it would hurt. It would suck to have someone who you thought was your ally and that you're going to take to the final 2 with, and she decides to put you up on the block, but you still have a shot of going home, or staying in the game, not going home. And so the fact that he immediately kind of attacks her and makes her feel bad, it just kind of made her feel like, okay, I'm glad I did this because he's not even being nice to me in this moment. So,
but Chantele, he got stabbed in the back.
That's true.
It too, Bowie Tay. It too, Jag.
It too, Bowie Tay.
You skipped the best part.
What was it?
That's Shakespeare for you guys.
Oh, yes. Thank you.
I feel like Cameron is sort of of the same opinion that I was of Bowie originally, whereas I don't feel like she really is that much of a player in the game. And so when someone that you deem as a non-threat, so much so that they're a constant ally in your eyes, whenever they put you on the block, you're like, oh, what the hell? Now you want to do something about it? So I get him in that sense, but at the same time, it's girl, you have been winning the majority of the competition in this season. In what world does someone not put you up when they have the chance? It's a foregone conclusion for you. Bye. So Whatever.
A2 Amante.
It is what it is.
He was just
Mhm.
fulfilling the Frank prophecy. Speaking of the Dan funeral week, like you're on the block every week that you don't win safety, and you get evicted once, and then you finally get evicted again on OTEV week.
Yep, the
Mhm.
famous prophecy for sure.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. So meanwhile, Cam is working on trying to stay in the house that he's going to, different people. Nobody really wants to hear him. We see him with Blue. We see him with Corey. Nobody's super into it. He makes a little bit of progress with Siri, who then delivers his message to Blue, and things, the message is a little bit better received. Not that anybody's going to change what they're doing.
Yeah, well, I mean, he gets through to Siri, who's the other person on the block. So
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
wasn't exactly
that was-
progress in the him staying direction, more so progress in the just doing anything direction.
Okay.
Yeah, that
All
was
right.
a interesting tactic.
Now we also got a little bit from Cam talking about how that his hero is none other than Kevin Costner. And boy, just Kevin Costner is just, he loves watches all of his movies. He loves Kevin Costner. Maybe Kevin Costner might even be watching Big Brother.
Who the hell is Kevin Costner?
If only they knew what Kevin Costner was doing to our Sunday night schedules.
Yes,
Wait, how old is Corey again? He's 21.
22.
22.
Yeah.
Turned.
So he's Gen Z for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Does the majority of Gen Z not know who Kevin Costner is? Because I tangentially know who Kevin Costner is
Yes.
as a person born in 1994.
Yes.
So like,
have you
I'm
seen
like,
him in anything?
just the bodyguard.
Waterworld?
Yeah.
Waterworld.
Yeah, I guess, he kind of makes. He's been famous forever, Kevin Costner. Probably
very long
like
time,
40
from my
years of
understanding.
making movies, but he doesn't really make any, like, he's not like the voice of any animated characters. Like he hasn't made a movie for a young person in a very
Voice
long
of an
time.
animated
Also,
character is the bar you need to clear to get to Gen Z.
I think so. I think
What
so.
animated character did he voice?
He
didn't.
hasn't.
He
That's the
didn't. Is
problem.
what
That's why
I'm
I don't
saying.
know.
I don't think he ever
Oh.
has. Like, he is like that. He's popular with a certain audience, and he's making stuff for that audience.
He's popular in the dad core audience, and that is exactly where Cameron resides. I mean,
Mhm.
Yellowstone is the perfect example of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And of course, Yellowstone airs now on CBS. I'm definitely
CBS.
seeing some responses from the chat of people of a certain age that I have no idea about who Kevin Costner is.
Wasn't he Robin Hood as well?
He was Robin Hood,
Mhm.
Prince of Thieves, but I think that movie is like from 1991.
Yeah, that
Sorry,
was a
Aman,
bit
you're
of a
out.
Yeah, so I
But
think.
Of course, he's a Dances with Wolves guy too. Like,
Mhm.
Yeah,
everything
it's a
about
good
him
movie
is-
though. But that's totally his vibe,
Yeah,
his MO.
yeah.
Okay, so that was hilarious. But then here comes Miss Felicia, who, of
Oh.
course, famously got ID'd as being the
Felicia Washington,
yeah,
yeah.
the sister of Denzel Washington, or the cousin of Denzel Washington,
Mhm.
by Cam. And then this is what she had to say.
Kevin Costner ain't watching this.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say that her being the
Yeah,
star of the
and then-
sequel.
yes, and then she talked about
Mhm,
that she
mhm.
would play the Whitney Houston character in The Bodyguard too.
I love
I'd love
that.
to see it. I wonder what's her song gonna be.
Honestly, I love that. The fact that she's like, Kevin's not watching this, but if he is, just so you know, I'm available for the ingenue role in whatever movie you're playing next. Like, you know what? Shoot your shot, Felicia. I would love to see Kevin Costner and Felicia Cannon in a film together.
I would
I wanna
imagine
see
she
it.
has a voice like Whitney Houston. Like that would be
Mhm.
Can you
amazing.
imagine? Oh my gosh.
She ate.
Oh my gosh.
It would be incredible. Yeah.
The Big Brother Bodyguard. I want
Yeah.
to see it right now.
Could you imagine being Kevin Costner and then you get the sort of the word like, "Hey, Kevin, you're trending on Twitter tonight."
It'd be like,
Not for
who?
Yellowstone.
What? What's
Mhm.
I mean, yeah, that's probably just a Tuesday for him, you know, like
Does he trend that often? I think that he's more often than not. I think he's trending because of his divorce. I think.
Oof.
He's in a lot
Oh
of.
my god, I'm learning a lot about Kevin Costner today.
Yeah, I think he does have like a lot of like drama these days between both his divorce
even
and
married
then
to?
also that he has a lot of drama with like being on like he doesn't want to go to Yellowstone anymore.
Like the place or the show?
I think that he wants to get paid. I don't think he wants to make any more episodes of the Yellowstone.
I didn't even realize that he was in Yellowstone. Yellowstone is getting a lot of views right now.
Yellowstone, like or whatever, like the main character.
He's the main character of Yellowstone.
Wow.
So Yellowstone aired on the Paramount Network for many seasons and then found like a whole second life on streaming. And then during the writer's strike and actor's strike, it's now the staple of the CBS lineup now, airing on Sunday nights to an audience that maybe never saw it. So there was a lot of synergy in between Kevin Costner being on the show and then Kevin Costner being the face of CBS Sunday nights.
What if the diary room was kind of pushing him to say this, being like, "Hey, we need to get some more Kevin Costner."
I think that the producer said, like, "Hey, this is great.
promotion.
Yeah, this is great cross promotion for the show. Hey, the one from one space cowboy to another."
Ooh.
And you know what? Everybody needs a check. You
Yeah.
know?
But it was one of the funny moments in the show. Then we're all in on Comerica now, Taran.
No.
AmeriCorey is DOA now. I
No,
think.
it's not, because they can't even get it right. They're now saying Core America,
I don't.
which
think that-
sounds like an education plan.
Mhm.
not an education plan. Taran, take that back. That's so mean. Okay, I feel
No Corey left behind.
whenever you're doing a portmanteau of two people, it has to you have to blend the words.
Yeah.
America means AmeriCorey.
Absolutely.
Okay?
Mhm.
There is no Cormerica. That Cormerica is you're mashing. That doesn't make sense.
Mhm.
Blend the words.
But Comerica got said like 30 times tonight.
Propaganda. Rob.
They
They
want
also
for
tried
sure.
to make Mickey happen. Do we call
did.
the winner of 21 Mickey? No.
Mhm.
That's true.
Yeah.
We call him Jackson.
Okay. I mean, can we call it Comerica, also known as AmeriCorey?
No.
AmeriCorey just feels better to say, you know, AmeriCorey.
Yes.
AmeriCorey.
It
AmeriCorey.
rolls off your fucking tongue. Oh, excuse me. It just rolls off your tongue.
So
Like
much
a
so.
washing machine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, look, I'm an AmeriCorey guy, but I just feel like that
Are you
we're losing
sure?
the war here.
Wrong.
I don't know. I think you're a Comerica person.
I don't know. Okay. But so this was then one of the funnier things to happen on a Big Brother eviction that I can remember, where that, we had our speeches and even, Cam, I thought was a good sport in the speeches. He said, if you keep me, I'll be loyal. I'll throw all the comps. Just keep me. But then he said he was the one who got it. I didn't notice if Siri said it, but
Siri kicked it off. Yeah.
So Siri kicked up. I didn't notice anything. And then I thought it was like kind of weird, like where Cam was like, Julie, you look exquisite tonight. And especially on a night, which was tonight, where Julie was probably more understated than she's almost ever been on the live show.
This was a throwback to like early days of Big Brother, where she'd show up in jeans. It was nostalgic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so, all right, I was like, this is weird that, of all the nights that Cam is talking about just how exquisite Julie looks. And then everybody goes into the diary room one at a time to start going through exquisite. And then, so Matt goes in, then Blue says it. And now, okay.
She says exquisite.
She tripped over it.
Leave him alone.
But then by the time we get to Felicia going into the diary room, like it's high comedy at this point, where Felicia is breaking when she does it. Jag comes in, says that Julie looks mad exquisite, which I don't think has ever been said before in the English language. Yeah.
No.
And then we got to, and I have to give it to Julie, that we talk about the Chen bot and, there's no programming in my ear. She was in her bag tonight on the fly.
Yeah.
Here she is with America.
Hi, America. You look exquisite.
You look like exquisite, Julie. Thank you.
Right back at you. All right.
Julie was great.
No, Julie be knowing. Julie be knowing when she chooses to be knowing. Like she will, give us a little something every now and then, a little dash of personality. So I was not unpleased with this interaction tonight. And as much as Corey kind of ruined it for me, I still kind of feel
this was funny too. This was funny too. All right, here's and then Corey comes in.
Hi, Corey. Let me guess. How do I look?
Good.
Okay.
The comedic value in it was exquisite.
He had the pregnant pause.
But I still wish that he just would have said exquisite.
Well,
See, that's why he lied about it, because of people like Aman.
Yeah, okay. So
I was like, oh my God, why are you lying about that?
Yeah, all right. So let's talk about that. Okay, so then after the whole eviction happens and we listen in on the house guests, they're talking about it. And then here's Corey and he lies to the house.
So let me guess what word you're going to use to describe me. I go, unbearably exquisite.
That's so funny.
Why do you have to lie?
I don't get it.
Because of Aman. Because there would have been an Aman there being like, Corey, you messed it up.
You think that the house would have turned on him like, oh, effing Corey.
He knows the social pressure of having to say exquisite, but he doesn't want to do it because it's a fucking, he's a contrarian by nature. That's just who he is. So he just had to just, be different. And it's fine. But being exquisite would have been better.
Yeah. No, I mean, it was great what he did. That was a great punchline to the whole thing where he's like, yeah. And then Julie, because you guys all did it, asked me, oh, Corey, you going to say that I'm exquisite? And I said,
it was fine.
No, you're good.
It was even funnier that he lies about it right after on the live. The fact that they happened to catch that moment on the live show is just fantastic.
Okay. All right.
Terribly exquisite. Yes.
Let's talk about Cam going out from the house tonight. I mean, I thought that maybe we might see kind of bitter Cam, but I think he took his lumps here pretty well tonight. Didn't tell off anybody going out of the house.
I mean, he was already evicted once, so
he's got practice.
Yeah, didn't snub anybody on the way out the door.
Yeah,
so
taking all the blame on himself. I was like, okay.
So that he took it pretty well. He gets out with Julie and thought he had some non-answers, Taran. I think that he kind of was just a little bit spinning, didn't really want to say anything.
Yeah, I mean, I think that he goes, I liked that he was, because listen, Cam's given us plenty in the house in terms of deflecting blame and acting like he's the Messiah. So it was weirdly more surprising and engaging to see him do the opposite of that in the interview. And so him being like, no, it was my fault. Who do you blame the most? Me. It was kind of interesting and I appreciated it. I think the mistake was that Julie brought up Red, and the second you bring up Red to Cam, you're getting a 5-minute spiel about I don't even know what I did to Red, and so that just took us way off the rails.
Yeah. We got to he talked about how that he messed things up and he said the wrong thing, and he does recognize that about his paranoia with Bowie was a big factor. They said, who do you feel most betrayed by? And the person is himself. To the point where it was almost like he wasn't giving credit to anyone for getting himself out.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's true, though. He should blame himself. What I was really looking for, and she's like, what would you have done differently? Was I don't know, maybe on day 6, I shouldn't have ratted out my entire alliance and gotten myself up on the block next to Riley.
He's afraid of commitment.
What was his answer to listening to Siri? Was that his answer?
They said, if you could play this all over again, what would you do? He said he would change a lot of things, but he would take some serious words of wisdom from Siri, who said, remember, you don't always have to tell someone what you think of someone else.
I enjoy that answer because that means that Ceri's social influence is still social influencing. So
it's a good answer, but I think my issue with it for Cam is that Cam never had to say what he felt about somebody because he always made it clear with how he acted toward them, which is why he struggled so much in the game
ahead of time. Yeah, no, I'm like I agree with that entirely, but I'm just like, whoo, girl. If there's one person that you're going to take cues from, let it be her.
Yeah. It does seem like that Cam is a surefire vote for Siri. Should that Siri make it to the final two?
It's what the edit seems to imply, at least.
Yeah. Do you feel like it's different, Taran?
It could be different. I mean, he basically told Jag, like, I want to vote for you. Just give me anything. And then Jag didn't really give him anything. So who knows? But...
Yeah. I mean, he's also going to be the foreperson of the jury. Do we think does that hold any weight on Big Brother like it does on Survivor?
I don't know if with Cam.
Not usually. Not too much, I don't think. I think you're in there for too long. But this is a fairly short period of time, so might mean more. But it's also Cam, so yeah.
Yeah. He did not get any goodbye messages, which I thought was unusual.
I think I know why.
No time in the episode?
No, we had nothing but time.
I know, I'm kidding.
No, I think I know why. So Cam had a conversation with America yesterday where he said, please, I have one thing to ask. I'm so sorry for everything. I just have one thing to ask you. Please give me a nice goodbye message. Don't be mean to me in my goodbye message. And I felt like he was asking that because he didn't want a mean goodbye message on the show to show how much people don't actually like him in the house, because they can edit segments all they want. But if the goodbye messages are all scathing to a jury member, then like it's a hint at his true colors to the casuals who view him as like the golden child.
But would people leave a scathing message to a jury member?
And so I think that the goodbye messages, they were all too mean, and they all referenced like bad things about Cam that they didn't want to show on the episode.
Do you think it's that? Could it also be that they were just so like he was like, hey, don't trash me in the goodbye messages, and the goodbye messages were like, Cam, like you're a nice guy. You're like, it was just like super boring, and that the producers were like, this is nothing.
No,
I don't think anybody has the like stomach to say that in their goodbye message.
I know. I agree with you, Taran. I feel like it's I think that the goodbye messages that were left were sort of like scathing.
But why wouldn't they? I think they would show that. I think that they would want that in the show.
Rob, they have been going so far out of their way to protect Cam in the edit, like going so far out of their way to not show tons of entertaining content.
They have nothing in this episode. This episode was
that's how they like it.
Could have been an email. Like I feel like that they would kill for some juicy content.
You could like they went in on Jared. They were like, we'll tank Jared all we want. They did not do that with Cam. You can tell because when somebody starts to like when somebody who's not very well liked by the house and by a good portion of the like feed fan base, usually they're still being protected up until the point where the producers realize they're not going to win this game, and then they tank them in the edit. That never happened with Cam. They have again gone out of their way to make Cam look smarter, better at the game, nicer, more of a stand-up guy. He's talked about like, I just had the best diary room session, guys. I can't wait till I get out of this house. There's going to be so many opportunities for me. Like he's clearly had conversations with them about like how he's going to be on other shows. Like they are all in on Cam, and they are not going to ruin that for one episode.
And I think also like his daughter and not wanting to maybe have him or her see him in a bad light, I think could also be playing a part in that, because he definitely in his like exit was kind of saying like, I'm doing this for you, Stevie.
Well, they wouldn't care about his daughter.
Yeah.
You don't think? What do you you mean?
Scott in the
wouldn't be
chat says
shocked.
Zingbot called him an effing tool. Only
Yeah,
on
that was
Tuesday
like
Night Show.
the
It's
weakest
bleep.
And then they all
zing.
said, yeah, no, he definitely is a tool.
Tool? It's not so bad.
No, I mean, well, Zingbot's gonna trash everybody, but I feel like I don't know. I feel like they definitely have not. They were gearing up for the possible narrative of a game out for him, like just being able to like comp his way to the end and like getting all of the the comp prowess, and that didn't happen. So now he's out. But I feel like they wanted to be able to like leave the lane open for him to be sort of like this Holloway, if you will. So yeah, I don't know. I just that
my hesitation with this is that like never before in the history of the show has there been a person where and look, you all like are watching the feeds like way more than I am, but that they couldn't have taken like a 10-second clip of like, Cam, you were fun, and just have that in there, that they got in there, they just all just roasted him for 5 minutes and they didn't have anything usable.
I mean, well, to your defense, Rob, we do hear on the feeds about how they say they film 2 goodbye messages. One is supposed to be a nicer one and one is supposed to be a nastier one. So like, yeah, maybe there was some like a group of DRs where they were, being a little bit more amenable to his eviction.
I mean, they weren't even trying to get his jury vote.
Well, no, I think what I'm saying is that like the only remotely interesting thing in the goodbye messages were the ones that were going in on him.
Yes.
And anything else, like nobody's saying nobody's giving like an emotional goodbye message to Cam.
Right.
Like Bowie's was probably, this is why you're gone. You shouldn't have done this. Jag and Matt are probably like, this is why the mistake that you made, that we had to do this. America's probably like going in on him. Corey probably made some dig about Daddy. And anything else
that sounds great.
It does sound great, Rob. There's so much great content that they've had for months now in this house that they haven't used on Cam. But anything else, like nobody's like, Cam, you're the greatest guy. Like the rest of it's just like, Cam, you're gone. Sorry. Hope you vote for me. Like, it was just it was so nothing unless they were willing to go in on him, that they were just like, let's just do nothing.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So let's see if they do goodbye messages back next week when we have another eviction, or if they're gonna just like get rid of them for the jurors moving forward. Okay. All right. Anything else from tonight's episode?
I have to say, when Julie came back to address the house guests and she started the sentence off with, "You ate," I really thought she was going to be like, "You ate Cameron up and F no crumbs," like Julie going off script.
So did America.
I didn't even think about that. That's hilarious.
Can I ask one other question? Did Julie say that there was going to be an extended interview with Cam, or that was it? Because usually it's like, even I think Red, she was like, stay tuned for my extended interview on the CBS Instagram.
I don't think that I can't remember, actually.
I don't remember.
I stopped paying attention towards the last 5 minutes.
Okay. There was one other segment of note from the show. Matt was very upset about what it's like to be in the house and have all the whispering going on, and nobody is doing it on purpose to try to upset Matt, but it is getting to him. Now, was this, Taran, stuff that all happened this week, or is this just like over the course of the season that Matt has been feeling this way?
More over the course of the season. Most of what they showed was from like a few weeks ago, maybe like a month ago at this point. But I mean, these are conversations he's been having throughout the season, and they, I think, just put it in here at this point. Probably because with Cam leaving, they're continuing to shift the sort of like main character toward some other people. Like Jag got a bit of an edit. We're seeing more from Matt now. We're hearing a lot more from Siri again. They're having to shift their focus.
Yeah. I will say about this segment, and I'm just being completely honest and totally bare right now. When he first started, and this is coming from someone who watches feeds and the edit, when I saw this tonight, my first like knee-jerk reaction was to be like, oh my God, Matt, get over it. And then when he broke down about all of it, I was like, oh shit. Okay. I am literally taking being able to just hear anything for granted. Like I don't think about it. Someone says something to me, I hear it, I absorb it, I compute it. It is what it is. But for him, he literally cannot. There's a whole extra barrier for him to like hear that, receive information, process it. Like it's slower for him. And so like I literally had to humble myself tonight and be like, okay, yeah, there are people out there that don't experience the world in the same way that I do. I should be more mindful of that. So like, yeah, that's why I love this show, because it definitely like changed a little bit in me. And as someone who feels like they are, you know, generally well accepting or, you know, just mindful about other people's experiences, still in all of that, my knee-jerk reaction was to be like, is it that bad, Matt? Well, yeah, no, it might actually be that bad. Like whispering might actually piss him off. So it was definitely
clearly
something that
I don't even think it's being pissed off. It's like feeling that you're not being included and then you can't do anything to feel accepted and feel included. I've been places where I didn't speak the language and nobody cared that I didn't speak the language, just did their own thing. And I'm like, okay, I guess I don't matter at all. Like, okay, great. And so I think it's having that something that you're going through consistently all the time. It's definitely really hurtful, especially in your regular life. People know how much it really affects you being in this house. They just don't know that that you're so super sensitive about this for good reason. And so I felt really bad for him, but I thought that Felicia handled it really well and
she
made
did
him feel, empowered.
The analogy she came up with was like very
the language,
grounding. Yeah.
It's again the importance of representation
100%.
In anything, and like that, like this is just the tip of the iceberg, right? Like this is just like the barrier to entry when it comes to even coming close to understanding what Matt might experience in a house like this, what he might experience every day of his life. And so the more people you have on to represent various backgrounds, abilities, and all kinds of other things, that like the more that you will learn about them and their culture and all of it, and have more empathy for them. And so it's like, you know, I mean, you know, preaching to the choir here, but like this is why it's important for exactly what Aman was just saying, because very rarely in life will you ever have the opportunity to move on from an initial reaction that's just like, all right, that's fine, because you're not getting to see him talk privately to a camera. You're not getting to see him have private conversations with his friends about it. Like you're just seeing it from this outside perspective, and this is an opportunity for you to see people from with more of a tighter lens on who they are.
Yeah, and I thought it gave some context to what happened on last Thursday's episode, where he was getting very upset with Corey when Corey was talking to Felicia, and he felt like that he was like Corey was like covering his mouth while he was talking, and I think that that's like where we're not sure like if Corey was actually like trying to throw Matt off, but you know, Matt is like very sensitive to people trying to like obfuscate like what they're saying to keep things from him. And I thought it was also great that we got to see like the relationship between him and Jag, and how Jag is like the one guy who is like, you know, coming and making and
really
like
attuned,
and is really like trying to help him out. And you know, that's really important for Matt. And I think that was the role that Riley had early on in the game, and that was like that. It was an important relationship for him. And like when I see stuff like that, I wonder like, will Matt really actually turn on Jag at some point?
Yeah,
I had the same question though when I saw that little moment together. I was like, oh, he really is feeling like he's taken care of by Jag, and Jag is somebody that is making sure that he feels included and understand what's going on. Like, I don't know if he'll stab him in the back, but you think he will, Taran?
I mean, worth noting that I mean, that diary room, I guess that diary room could have been more recent, but like that conversation was like a month ago, and you know, he's done plenty against Jag within that month. So.
I mean, I think that too. I think it just comes back to like two things can be true at the same time. Like, yes, Jag can be that person that might be a little bit more sensitive to like what Matt needs in the game to feel like he can communicate effectively. But he
And
can
it's still
also be like,
$750,000.
you need to go home. Yeah, so like that's what makes it so juicy and crunchy.
We should also just mention Siri. Siri is rising, I think, once again. We had like some great moments with like vintage Siri talking about how, okay, we're gonna be getting, okay, we've got AmeriCorey on one side, we've got Jag and Matt. It's going to be good if these two sides are going up against each other, and nobody's going to be worried about little old Siri. She's going to sneak her way to the end once again.
Yeah, she says this.
Y'all go ahead and go after each other, while Siri just sneaks her way to the end, like she always does.
Like,
where's the lie? Where's the lie?
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
I love the awareness. I love like that she knows where her social positioning is. I love that because like I feel like in a game like Survivor, it's like a lot more abundant. Like where people like will talk about like where they are in the game. Whereas with the edit in Big Brother, it's so like sanitized a lot of the time that like we don't often get to see like their real thoughts. But for Suri in this particular season, it's like, oh no, she knows. She's been around the block. She knows what she's doing. She knows where she is. And I love to like see how she manages that. It's great. It's great.
Okay, this is Suri's time to shine. Let's see where we go from here. All right.
Don't doubt Suri. Like, I don't know why anybody has. She knows what she's doing, and I
Tell
love
that to Shannon every week.
I love that she's like you can tell she's having a little bit of fun again. Which is also very nice.
Well, I think that maybe like we're over the hump where it's like, okay, it's less than a month. The light is at the end of the tunnel. She can kind of like smell the money a little bit. So I think that maybe,
gone.
Yeah, maybe, and, you know, she's over the initial sting of Jared being gone. And so maybe we're going to see like a real like exciting home stretch here for Suri. All right. Anything else before we jump into a couple of questions tonight? Okay, let's do it. This is from Jalen, who says, is this one of the only times a house guest is evicted and no one is sad at all? This is one of the happiest post-evictions I've ever seen. There's got to be some other time.
That was the energy was very like party like they were all having fun. They were doing the exquisite thing. It's because they were all so happy to have him leave.
Mm-hmm.
I think there are definitely there's still a contingent of people that are like, oh no, I hate to see Cameron go. He was such an agent of chaos. So like,
oh, like the audience. I thought you meant in the house. I was like, who?
Oh no, in the house? No, no, not at all. But like in terms of like the audience, I think there's still definitely a few people that are like, damn it.
Okay. How about this is one from Ryan H. Any BB comic predictions? What do we know that we will see? Any sure bets for a BB comic?
Yeah, Felicia and Mike Pack massacre or something. I don't know how.
No, she'll probably be like the Wrinkle Monster, and
no,
then
stop.
like Corey will be the Cormerica banker, and Jag will be the
chicken.
No, Terminator. They already said that
Gotti.
before.
Oh, Terminator. You don't think they'll give him the chicken?
Oh,
I feel like Felicia will have something to do with food. Something to do with ingredients.
Yeah, Matt will be like the buddy gamer.
Sister season.
Matt will be like the blonde surfer bro. Like let's not get our hopes up here.
Yeah, maybe he'll be like Flat Matt, where he'll be like a like cardboard, like Josh Duhamel, like he could fly through like the like envelope drop. Flat Matt is good.
Flat Matt.
Write that one down.
Flat Matt.
What would America be?
I don't know what Jag would be. What the hell?
America's probably just gonna be like a cheerleader, like all-American cheerleader, like you know.
Yeah,
like,
she'll be like America. She'll be like waving like a big flag, like.
And Bowie, maybe something about
something
be
to do with Australia.
Superhero, doing DJ
Down
things.
Under.
Yeah, the Down Under diva.
Yeah, the Down Under DJ, something
Scratcher.
like that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. Can't wait for that.
And they won't have spent more time than we just did coming up with
Yeah. Okay. Could we talk through the double veto and how that could work? Is it going to be like the first two finishers? Is it two competitions?
I really
Maybe
feel
they
like it's
gift the veto to
just a
someone else?
double veto. I feel like it's just both of the nominees can come off the block, which we have seen before, right?
Yeah. Well, going back to the BB14 idea, we had like the veto that was in the claw machine, and then there was a regular veto. Like, could we see a veto get distributed in a non-traditional way?
It's possible. I mean, given that we're having an extra long episode, she also said like a veto competition that will have the players seeing double, which implies that it's all in one competition. So maybe they run it twice. Maybe they win one veto that can be used on two people.
Or it's the same competition happening simultaneously. Like it's.
Yeah, and then the anonymous HOH will be making like maybe changing the nominations twice.
Well, they'll have to either renom one or two people depending on how it's used, probably.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's see.
Watch the veto competition be a slip and slide, and the top two finishers both get vetoes.
Is there anybody that can best utilize the power of invincibility or multiplicity?
I mean, Siri. Siri's the only person who I think could have it, use it, keep it anonymous, and like actually do something good with it and blame someone else.
Okay. And then at the end of this week, who is Blue most closely aligned with? Is it still Matt and Jag?
I'd say she's leaning more Siri at this point. But, that's before the power changes. Because everyone reassesses when the power changes. And so if she feels like Matt or Jag won the HOH, then guess whose team she's on?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Anything else from the multiverse tonight? All right. Well, let's talk a little bit about what we have coming up, because we are just a couple of weeks away now from our big event. And
you guys
Taran,
for this?
look at us. We're going.
Oh my God.
We have to go back to the West Coast for our first RHAP live show on the West Coast since 2020, as we will have our 2-night events. We'll be seeing double as we do two live shows at the Brea Improv on November 1st and November 2nd. We will have our Survivor show, jam-packed Survivor show, coming up on Wednesday, November 1st. And then we're going to have a great Big Brother show on Thursday, November 2nd. You can get tickets still at robhasawebsite.com/events. There are discounts for patrons and also a discount for both nights if you want to get a package to join us for our live show coming up here in just a couple of weeks. It's at robhasawebsite.com/events.
If you're in the area and you don't have tickets already, shame on you.
Now I heard there's a costume element to this. So are both you going to be dressing up as well?
I don't know. So we announced last night or on Tuesday night that we're going to have a costume contest. We have a package that we're putting together of some goodies for the best Survivor contest on Wednesday night, and then the best Big Brother costume on Thursday night. We'll have the audience vote. We'll bring people up on the stage and see what costume. It's Halloween week. It's going to be a lot of fun. Okay. That's coming up here in just a couple of weeks. Then we got, Tara, we checked in with Izzy on Wednesday.
We did. Yes. Very fun to talk to Izzy. She's been following along. So she still had plenty of opinions. It was a great time.
Now, we asked Izzy to leave a goodbye message for Cam, and you could check that out at the end of our conversation up with Izzy. That's up as a podcast and up on our YouTube channel. Okay. Then, of course, this weekend, we'll be checking in with the big brother of Corey Wertenberger. It's Zach Wertenberger is going to be back to talk with us about what the Zingbot had to say about his little brother. and everything going into the home stretch of Big Brother with our friend Zach Wertenberger. That's going to be live 2 p.m. on Saturday. Then earlier today, we are in full Survivor mode. Survivor 45 has been outstanding. If anybody has been waiting to jump in and start it, it's been really, really strong so far to start off the new season. Stephen Fishback and I got together on Thursday for our Thursday Survivor Know-It-Alls. So check out what Stephen and I had to say about this episode. Plus, James Jones was on the post-game show last night. That was really, really fun. I had an exit interview as well with the latest person voted off of Survivor. So that's all up on robisawebsite.com. Then also on Wednesday nights, 90-minute amazing races are happening. Very fun episode this week as the teams got into Vietnam. And so Mike and Jess and I got into everything from the amazing race. That's up as well. Now, over on Netflix, nothing but Netflix, we covered The Devil's Plan a couple of weeks ago. It is from the producers of The Genius, and now Chappelle and Scally are continuing on with coverage of The Devil's Plan. I know people are so into it. It's a really, really fun strategic show, Taran. When Big Brother is over, you're going to love it.
I've seen the first 2 episodes. It's incredible.
Incredible. Yeah. I'm so excited.
Yeah, really, really well done. They spent a lot of money on this. So if you want to follow along with The Devil's Plan, Scally and Chappelle are going through it here for some bonus Nothing But Netflix coming up here on RHAP.
Dare I say, it's exquisite.
Ooh.
Exquisite. Yes.
I mean, I love The Genius. So if it's even better than that, that's like really fun.
Yes. It is almost identical to The Genius.
Okay. Well, then great.
Yes. Okay. Then check out everything we got going on over on Patreon earlier tonight. I did the Survivor Q&A for episode 3. Tomorrow, Taran and I will get together for the Big Brother Q&A. We'll be live at 2 p.m. Eastern for that. Not to mention the slop, everything in our Patron podcast feed, access to the international reality TV shows like The Traitors and much more. That's at robbinswebsite.com/patron. Then make sure you go to robbinswebsite.com/subscribe for the links to all of our podcast feeds. And then tomorrow morning, Taran may or may not know who the HOH is, but if there's anything to know, Taran will tell you.
I'll tell you what we do know and what we don't know.
Yep. So join Taran and Booyah.
Knowing and not knowing.
Yeah, 11 a. It's Schrodinger's HOH tomorrow morning on the live feed update, 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific. Okay. Chantele, what's coming up for you?
You can hang out with me on Instagram or at ShanFriendFran. I never say my Twitter or my X because it's at Shan____Fran. So it's also really annoying. But you can also find me on Reality Realness with 3 S's on YouTube. So there we go.
All right, Chantele. Well, I appreciate you're like Cam of like, okay, Chantele, where did you go wrong with your social media? It's like, it's my own fault. I made too many underscores
too long
in my name. But don't beat yourself up, okay?
I'm sorry. Yeah.
It's okay. All right. Well, Chantele, great job tonight.
Thanks. I'm gonna see you guys in Brea as well, which will be
we are blessed. Yes.
Listen, if Chantele's there, it's a party. So you guys
I'll be bringing costumes for sure. So
okay. All right. That's exciting. All right. Aman, what about for you?
You can follow me everywhere at Aman Adwin. I will also be seeing all of you guys in Brea. So prepare to lose the costume contest on Thursday night.
Okay.
Oh my God, is there going to be a podcaster battle royale?
It might be a special division.
For sure. Sure.
Okay. All right. All right, Aman, great job here tonight. And then Taran, what's coming up for you?
Come hang out with me on Twitch, twitch.tv/Taran Armstrong. Watching these episodes live with all of you. We're having a lot of fun watching Survivor as well on Wednesdays. You can also find me on Instagram posting myself climbing things. Yeah, that's Twitter.
Yeah.
Updates.
How are you holding up in the Survivor draft, Taran?
I'm still good. I haven't lost anyone yet.
3 for 3. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Good work. All right. Thank you all so much for joining us here tonight. We'll be back with more Big Brother and everything we've got going on at robbinswebsite.com/subscribe. Take care. Have a good one. Bye.